Hello, my name is Moshi. Moshi on Twitch, Moshi in game. I played this game for 10 years and my gear looks like this. Welcome to my gear guide. These are my credentials. If you've been thinking about playing this game or on the fence and you don't feel like listening to a guide right now, I need you to at least redeem all of these codes. Every single one of them gives you a bunch of free stuff. It's really, really helpful for starting and getting your either foot back in the door or playing it as a new player. So redeem this code, this code, this code, this code, this code, this code. Please. Thank you. You can redeem all the codes through the website. So you don't even need to download the game. Just if you're interested at all, take the codes, go to the website, redeem them on whatever account that you are playing on. So disclaimer, this game is overwhelming because there's a lot of content in it. It's been out for a decade. I'm going to try to give you the rundown of what just gearing is going to look like for you if you're new or returning. There's going to be some stuff that I'm just not going to talk about. You can use either Google, you can ask people who are streaming the category. There's always someone streaming, or you can join a guild and have people answer your more specific questions if needed, or comment on the video and I can get back to you. I'm just going to be showing you how to gear or my suggestions and how I would gear if I am new or returning. Everything in this guide is going to be based off of things and websites that I will have linked in the description. One is going to be a Garmoth guide that will show you step by step every single place of gear that you're going to be when I'm yapping about it. And that's going to be linked in the description. Second is going to be the BDO official Discord, okay, where you'll have a lot of links to information. And more importantly, it'll help you find a guild. So if you are not in a guild right now and you are returning, join the Discord and find one. Find a guild that's active. I have some suggestions for guilds. I'll have them up on the screen. But otherwise, when you're looking to join a guild, you want to know, one, do they do guild bosses every week? And do they do them at a time that you can make? If yes, good guild. And are they popping guild buffs off cooldown? That's all you're looking for right now. That's all you need to prioritize. Option 2, after you find a guild, either find a BDO streamer and adopt them to help you through your journey and have them help you with your more specific questions, because this game's really big. There's a lot of different things happening all the time that you might get confused on. Find a YouTuber who is more specific about the type of things that you're going through. There will be either, if you Google it, you'll find something, either a Reddit post, a YouTuber, a Twitch streamer, or a guildie. Try not to go through this game by yourself. It's really overwhelming. As well as if you join the BDO official Discord, again, which will be linked in the description, there is a channel in there for new players for you to just ask your questions into the void and someone will get back to you. If you've never been on Garmoth, congratulations, this is your new best friend. It's going to be helpful for you and it's going to be helpful for anybody that you are going to be asking help from. When you get on this website, you're going to be getting up here to the gear planner, okay? And then you're going to select and click it, and then you're going to create a new character with whatever stats that you're going to be using. I already made a Garmoth for what we're going to be doing, and we're just going to go through this step by step. I'm just going to tell you what you're going to be needed to be doing. All right, after you've made your Garmoth for your account, you are going to first start. Let's assume you're a new player, brand new. You've logged into the game. They're going to give you a free horse. You're going to choose T10 Ardronaut, okay? It's going to look like a Pegasus. It has wings. That's the best T10 that you can choose for yourself as a new player. Then you're going to choose a T9 Unicorn. For the small amount of time that you're going to be in the desert, or one day will be in the desert, is the most useful. And when you start a new character, you're going to choose the Land of the Morning Light questline. You're going to have to finish it anyway. You might as well start there. Okay, gear checkpoint 1, Tuvala start. You've gotten your Ator's Power Stone here from the questline. You've hit full pen Tuvala during season. You've also, at this point, either been actively working on or already have your infinite HP pot in your infinite mana pot. This is your gear checkpoint 1. The season seals that you'll be prioritizing, which is in the exchange menu, will be choose your pet box, made for hire box, storage specifically, and then choose your Flaremost accessory box. That's what you're going to prio. Gear checkpoint 2, you've graduated from season and you've gotten 3 free pen boss armors. 1 came from the Magnus questline, 2 came from graduating season, 3 came from Olvia Academy. This guy came from you taking your season Tuvala gear and enhancing it to deck and then exchanging it for Tri-Ator shoes. This guy came from you also graduating season, enhancing this to deck, and exchanging it for a Karazad belt that will be at TET when you get it. And then you'll use the crons that you have from your codes to tap it to pen. The pen Kaposha accessories will come from your new player login rewards. You'll just get these. At gear checkpoint 2, you've graduated from season and you've done Olvia Academy combat at the bare minimum. You will get 1 pen black star from hitting 61. You'll get another pen black star from going back and enhancing your Tuvala to deck and exchanging it for a pen black star. You'll get another pen black star from Olvia Academy. It'll be a box. And then you'll get an additional pen black star from a guaranteed TET to pen black star stone that you will be able to use immediately either from finishing season and having that TET black star box or finishing Olvia Academy and having that TET black star box selector. So you can have a pen black star main hand, awakening, and offhand. And then you'll have 2 more. The 5th pen black star will come from a bit of RNG. They will give you 11 black star hammers. So looking at the game again, when you're finishing Olvia Academy, you will have done the combat questline, which would have given you 8. And then you would also have exchanged them in the seals currency for additional 3. So that's 11. And that only brings you 11 out of 15 pity. So if you have J hammers at this point and can get yourself to 15 out of 15, do so here. Do not cron to get to 15 out of 15 to pity your final pen black star. It's not worth it. Cronning from here will cost you around 40 bill, and black stars are sitting at, back when this first got released, it was 10 bill, but now they're sitting around 20 bill or 15 bill, depending on which you're using. A lot of them are sold out as well, but you can get either offhand or main hand or awakening at 20-ish bill. I suggest personally, this is a side note, I suggest personally for your first 2 sovereigns, you go for either your main hand or awakening, depending on what class you're playing, and your offhand first. The only difference with your offhand, or the problem with your offhand, is you're going to need 2 pen black stars plus 20,000 Kafras to get your offhand. If that doesn't sound like something you want to do and you want to get a bunch of AP really fast, I have made the guide so that you, assuming that you went for Sovereign main hand and Awakening first. But I do suggest, if you have the patience for it, to get your either Awakening or main hand first, and then your offhand, and then get your final black star for whatever is left. For gear checkpoint 3, using your crons, you're going to raw tap your Sovereign from base to try, then your cron tap TET and pen. And then you do the same for your other Sovereign. You're gonna raw tap from base to try, and then cron, TET, and pen to get here. Important note, you're gonna get a lot of hammers just in general. Make sure that you're saving any hammers that says primordial or the other one. If it's a J hammer, you can throw that at your black stars, but do not use your other ones. If you're new or returning, there's a chance that you don't have journals done. I've had them toggled on since the beginning, but toggle them off. You can see the big difference between what your gear would look like with or without them. You want to get them done at your own pace, as well as you will Caphras your armors to C5 using the Caphras that you've gotten from season. Graduation, Fugar will give you a bunch of Marnie stones that you can fill from a quest called Leveling Aid, a new ascent. So you make sure that your graduation cap is on when you talk to him, and he'll give you a bunch of quests, including the Marnie Stone quest. And you're going to get an additional 3,000 Caphras from Olvia Academy seals, and that's enough to C5 all of your armors to get you a DP boost. And you also start hunting your journals at Gear Step 4. Gear Checkpoint 5 will have you getting 2 Pen Ring of Crescent Guardians from the Jatina questline. This is worth it if you use the free stuff that they give you from doing Olvia Academy, and Fugar is also going to have quests that gives you stuff to do the Jatina accessory quest. I will have a link for that guide in the description. And this is what you'll look at like at Gear Step 5, just from doing your Jatina questline. Gear Step 6 is pretty simple. It's going to be assuming that you got your Garmouth from just doing your playtime and finishing the Medaya questline, and you're going to put it in your Awakening to get a little bit more AP, as well as that extra crystal slot. Gear Step 7 is where we start grinding. As a side note, this is where you can, if you would like, for that boost in AP, back here, get 2 Tet Distos to get your AP up for the duration of this entire grind. You can have this, your Tet Distos here. It's going to cost you 16 bill to get this, and it'll boost your AP at the cost of you losing 8 DP. And you can have this at any point. As well as, at some point between while you're in grind mode, you can also start chasing Kabuas. And this is additional 20 bill to get, but it gives you a lot of gear score. And will help you you'll have these until the end game, your Kabua accessories. And they give you monster DR and damage against monsters. It's very helpful for survivability during your grind. So you're going to start grinding for your offhand here. So you're grinding for 20,000 Caphras, and you'll be at around 309 AP or 316 AP, depending on whether you went distos or you didn't go for distos. You can grind Honglim here for 1 bill an hour, Jade Starlight Forest for 1 to 1.3 bill an hour, Gyfin, although the mobs will hit you really hard, for 1 bill an hour, or Dekia Trees, which out of all the options, Dekia Trees is the best one, but it requires you to be 1 group grinding and 2 getting carried by 2 other nice geared people. And that will get you 2 bill an hour plus. If you're solo, I would personally choose Jade here. You want to grind 20 bill to buy another Pen Blackstar as soon as possible, and then get your 20k Caphras. And you're going to do the same thing. You're going to raw tap to try, cron to pen. Lightstone options here is for Iron Wall if you feel like you're getting hit really hard because your DP is low at this point, or the Wild. To check how to get Lightstone sets as well in Garmoth, you can go to Artifacts and then search up the Wild, which shows you what it does, as well as Iron Wall. Tells you what it does. Alright, a gear checkpoint number 8. This is where you're going to start grinding for DP. I'm going to be assuming that you've been in a guild at this point, that does guild bosses, and you've done the quest line for the weekly to get your con, or you grinded and bought it. So you have a con heart on this step. Now, there's multiple options here. You can either buy each of your armors at Duo. It's going to cost you 30 bill each at this point in time, at the point of making this video, to get each of your armors. So 90 bill, it'll take you X amount of hours depending on how much you're making. Or you can C10 each of them, get a flame, do a quest, and then enhance it from base to duo. That is up to you. I will have the guides for both options in the description if you would like to either make your own and look at it, or just buy it straight up. When you hit 327 AP or 330, if you have your distos in instead of the capoches, you can grind Dekia 1 Ash for 2 bill an hour. Dekia Trees is still a good grind for 2 bill an hour. Yizerhid for 2 to 2.5 bill, or a Dekia 1 Thornwood for 2 to 2.5 bill. That's gear checkpoint number 8. Around here is where paths will start to differ, because now you're chasing your actual finished slots. So you are either going to go down the Karazad enhancing route, where you tap for Karazads. If you're going to do this, I suggest that you buy a Tet Debo first, and then exchange it to a Pen Karazad, and then enhance that all the way up. This requires you to spend crons and essences of Dawn. I'm going to link the website for fail stacking and tapping it in the description. Or the guarantee route, where you buy a pen debo, you grind and buy a pen debo, and you exchange it for a Nov accessory. So you skip majority of the RNG and tapping, and you guarantee a gear gain. This is what I suggest, but it is a lot of money to grind. The reason that we selected the belt in the first place, because you are going to tap your belt if you're following my guy specifically, and you're going to grind for your neck first. The neck is the cheapest. It's going to be around 120 bill. So by this point, you assume you're grinding, and then you hit and got your neck in exchange for it. Or you can do a mix. Mix is a little more complicated. You can get yourself to all pen Karazads via buying a bunch of pen debos and exchanging them. Not pen debos, Tet debos and exchanging them. And then use that AP until you can grind and buy pen debos from there to get Nov Karazads. I'm just going to assume for my guide, if you're following my guide specifically, I'm going to assume that you're going the grind and guarantee route. So you're going to grind for every single slot from here. And this is where you start using the hammers that you saved up if you still have them saved. If you grind, buy a pen debo of your choice, and then get a Nov Karazad, use your hammers to tap that from Nov to deck. Hopefully you get lucky. Gear checkpoint 11 and 10 is you exchange for a belt. So you're going to tap your belt to either Oct, or if you get Lucky, Knob. And then by this point, you'll be 352 AP. You can grind Tungrad Ruins, Dark Seeker's Retreat, Dekia 2 Ash, or Zekia maybe. Kind of dependent on how confident you feel at this point. Tungrad is going to be 2.5 bill an hour, Dark Seekers is 2.5 to 2.6, Dekia 2 Ash is 3 bill an hour, and Zekia is 3 bill an hour. And then after this, it's the basics is going to be, you just start replacing things one by one. You replace your earrings first and get them both to Nov. And then you'll replace your rings and have them both at Nov. And then you just start tapping in a circle. And your gear will look like this over time. Now, the elephant in the room, okay, is the armors. This is kind of a pain in the ass because PA hasn't updated the armors to match the rest of like where gearing should be in this game. You have the options between cron tapping this to try and tet and seeing if you get lucky, but I am warning you ahead of time that if your RNG is not on your side, you lose money doing this if you are not blessed by RNG Jesus himself. The best way for you to start dealing and getting your armors is buying them. So you either sell your duos and buy your tries, eventually sell your tries to buy your tets, or you go down the path of RNG, or you wait for them to eventually nerf it, because there's no... If you, for an example, if you're going from try to tet, just try to tet, and you pity, you fail 50 times in a row, that's 400 bill of crons. When you buy it at max for 180 to 200 bill. So you can choose your own path. But as for my gear guide from beginner to mid game, welcome to mid game. This is where you'd be looking at. You hit about here. Okay. Good luck.